I am not Jason. Join Jason and Justin back in the green room as they talk with some of their favorite folks from the entertainment industry. And now, the man you haven't been waiting for, Jason Pollock.
I'm back with Justin Gonzalez, co-host extraordinaire.
Hey, how you doing, Daddy-o?
Don't worry, for those of you, great. I just want to express for those of you who have been loving Melissa, she will be back, but it's Justin's time now.
No, well, first off, I love the idea that we have some folks cycling in the co-host chair. I know I've been, especially through September, I was kind of out of commission. Not like out of commission. I mean, I was doing stuff. I was working. I was performing. Things, even though this Delta variant has come out of COVID, I've been very fortunate, and a lot of the shows that I've been doing, they've been sold out shows, and people being very respectful, wearing masks, keeping social distance, and it's been pretty awesome, I do have to say. But I do have to say there has been a little part of my heart that has been lonely. And that is the part of my heart that I share with Mr. Jason Pollock. It's been weird, man. It's been like a month since we've seen each other.
It's been longer than that. It really has been. I know. I don't. This is just the new reality I'm gonna have to get used to. My Justin free world. I'm living in a Justin free world. I'm living in a Justin free world. Da-da-da-da.
See, I thought I was the music guy. Okay, come on now. This is why
we'll leave it at you doing. We'll leave it at you as the music guy. Yeah. So how were you able to cope today without Facebook, Justin?
Well, heroin. Actually, that's how I was able to cope. Yeah, no. Honestly, I found myself. I busied myself running errands today. For those of you that don't know, kind of like the entertainer's world, you know, we're usually performing, you know, Thursday through Sunday, and then everything that normal people do on a weekend or a long weekend, we have to squeeze into like 12 hours on a Monday. If you're lucky, sometimes it's less. Sorry, I'm putting down my typing keyboard because I was trying to. Now, where are we streaming live to, Jason?
Well, we have someone watching. We're streaming live to Facebook, which is back up and running, YouTube and Twitch.
Awesome. Okay, because I was looking for our link on our Facebook page so that I could share it.
I need to learn how to do that. It's linked to my own. I did it wrong.
Your personal page. Okay, got it. That's fine. Still, so folks, find a Jason Pollock. The name is just it's right over there. So check it out. If you're not streaming, but if you do want to check us out, go to facebook.com/Jason and Justin. So that way, because that's normally where we disseminate information. So actually, I'm going to pop on over to Jason's page because I want to share the good news over on my Facebook page on Justin Gonzalez Tenor. So
and you're going to be here Wednesday, aren't you?
I will be here this Wednesday for the normally scheduled show. So very excited about that.
With our very special guest. I'm actually a little nervous about this, Mr. Lloyd Kaufman himself.
Yeah. This is for all of those Troma fans out there, right?
It wasn't for Lloyd. There could be no Rocky Balboa. There would be no. You'll find that out on Wednesday. There'll be no Guardians of the Galaxy. There would be no. There would be Guardians of the Galaxy, but that movie might not have been made. Matt Stone and Trey Parker, he launched their careers into stardom.
Dude, so I'm super excited because now, as you know, I've been off the radar, so I haven't really put the I haven't been able to put the time in yet, as far as the research. But I am super excited to learn about Lloyd and really getting to really get into this interview on Wednesday. I feel like I've been out of the loop. I don't know how to. I've got to get back into interview mode.
Yes, and we're going to be watching a special trailer of his newest masterpiece, Shakespeare's Shitstorm.
And you're in that, aren't you?
I have a 2-second screen where I'm doing this behind a girl.
Oh, yeah.
At a dance party scene. I missed the mutation moment. I had to be back at work when they did the mutation. Oh. Everybody had to twitch on the ground.
I love they're like, yeah, I'm doing this. It's at a dance party. Like, oh no, really? I thought it was at a wake.
You never know. It could be a happy wake. I mean, if it was Irish, I'd be doing
That's
this.
true. That's true. They're very woke at their wakes. Yeah.
It's a woke wake.
It's a wait, woke wait. Next on NPR.
So I have some exciting news for myself. Justin Gonzalez will be joining me at this location within the hour with some wine.
Yes. I
Much
wasn't.
needed, no less.
I wasn't sure whether or not you wanted to be crazy and just keep doing screen time, but I'll be pre-gaming once my coffee runs out.
I'll be honest, my nerves are shot, so I think a little company and wine would be wonderful.
Then I look forward to. I'm trying to think. What do I have? I think I have a nice red blend, a nice a blend of red wines. Which actually, this one's pretty good. The one that I have.
Oh, the Cabernet period. Is that wrong?
It's not right, but but so I have that. I'm trying to think. I actually have a really neat looking wine. So now I am a sucker for packaging, and this one is called Freak Show, and it looks like an old circus tent advertising and all that. Like it has a strong man on the cover on the label.
Really cool. I love that.
Yeah, so I'm pretty stoked. I'll bring that one over because it's another blend. But again, the artwork is lovely, and I'd love to share that
with you. Let's see. Hold on. All right, our guest today is getting set up in 1 minute. He just texted me.
Fantastic.
No, we say in the intro, we talk to our favorite people from all aspects of the entertainment industry. A lot of people we talk to have been legends in their field, and today we have a newcomer to the scene whose father, I don't know if it was uncle or grandfather, was a silent film star who was in the movie, who also made the transition into talkies. He was in The 7-Year Itch as the plumber.
Okay.
His name is Victor Moore. Well, our guest today is a newcomer to the acting world. He's been through a lot. He's a former military, and now he wants to do something a little more difficult than that and enter the field of acting.
Oh, jeez, yeah. Talk about difficult. It is, but it's jeez, do we know what branch of the military? I'm thinking. I'm smelling Marine. Was he a Marine?
I'm gonna let him tell you, only because I don't know, but he would know better than I would.
Yeah, because he was there.
He was there, yes.
So, before we move forward and we bring our guest out, again, I'll let me just plug a couple of things. If we're watching over on Twitch, are we still streaming to Twitch?
We are, yeah.
Okay, great. So, hello, friends on Twitch that may be watching, either watching this live or as a rebroadcast. If you're not watching on Twitch and you do have a Twitch handle, pop on over to twitch.tv/Hi, I'm Jason P. And that's for the P's for podcast, not for urine. And again, head on over to YouTube and you can just type in "Hi, I'm Jason" and you will find. Yes, disappointed crow. Yes, Justin, you could have done a better joke.
Can you detect the disappointment in the crow's squawk?
I can. Yeah, you can tell that one. But you can tell that it was an old recording because that crow was just sad that Dukakis lost. So so it's an old.
That is an old crow. Yeah.
You're making me choke on live stream. Anyway,
you did Justin. Ask me why I'm wearing that crow costume.
Why are you wearing that crow costume, Jason?
Cause.
There it is, kids. Where's I was gonna say. Wait, you have? Do I have a laughter button? I do. I have the same laughter button. I forgot where it was.
We're laughter button buddies.
Wait, okay, 1, 2, 3.
We just doubled the size of the crowd.
Double the laughter, double the fun. Folks that are watching live, do us a favor, drop a comment in, let us know where you're listening from, because we would love to say hi. And
Yes, I see the eyeball. I see numbers next to the eyeball.
well, then come on, folks, come on, say hi. This is this can be an interactive show if you want it to be. Also, the last thing I had mentioned it earlier, that if you want to know what we're doing, we're not just digitally and virtually speaking, but also live. Jason and I will be doing some shows together. Be sure to go to facebook.com/Jason and Justin. And that's where we disseminate the information, not just upcoming events, but also live streams and rebroadcasts. So be sure to check it out. Last week you had a great show on Wednesday.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we had Bruce Valanche and Julia Scotti.
My goodness! First off, Julia is a riot. She's Julia is a dear friend of mine and Jason's. And Bruce Valanche, of course, a legend in the field. True, I mean, and people do throw around that word legend quite a bit, but Bruce truly is. Of course, I knew him first as Center Square on Hollywood Squares.
Yes. But the countless award shows he's written for. He created the Star Wars holiday special at Infamous, which he said was the biggest disappointment, and I said until the Phantom Menace. Then all of a sudden the holiday special didn't look so bad, did it?
No. And you know what? I was going to say the holiday special, though, has become kind of like a cult favorite, though. It's taken on a life of its own.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
Now, our guest has popped in. Are you ready?
Oh. Fantastic. Yeah, we can plug our Halloween show at the end of the show, but we should let folks know that we have an awesome Halloween show planned. Not all guests have been confirmed yet, but we can say who we do have, and that we have folks that are going to potentially join that party. But anyway, enough about that. We have a guest waiting for us.
Let's bring him out. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Michael Lloyd. Hey, Mike.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Welcome.
Hey.
That was our studio audience.
Okay, you hear me? There we go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Ooh.
I like
that
that
sexy voice.
Yeah, no, you guys aren't the first ones to compliment my audio quality. I'm currently using a Rode NXT1 with a Scarlett 4i4 USB mixer, so I pride myself on quality.
Oh my God.
Yeah, well, I use testosterone, and so that's how I'm getting my voice all sexy. How about that, Michael?
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, thank you guys so much for having me here. I really do appreciate it. It's really a great honor. Thank you for having me on your show.
Oh, it's our pleasure. Thank you.
And that's all the time we have. So,
Michael, this is Justin, my co-host, who I haven't had here in a month because he's been touring with his band.
And various other things and all of that. But it's great to be back, and it's really going to be awesome to get to chat with you, Michael, because also now I did some light stalking. Jason sent me a link that I was unable to open, so I had to do some searching. And so you're I always say former military, but if I know anything well about folks in military, you're always whatever branch you are. I know my father was a Marine, and even to the day he died, he said, "I'm not a former Marine, I'm a Marine." And so,
Yeah.
so what branch did you serve in?
I was also a Marine. That is correct. Once a Marine, always a Marine.
Hoorah.
There's no such thing as a former Marine. There might be some retired Marines, there might be some inactive Marines, but once a Marine, always a Marine, and that will go with you until the day that you die. I served with 2nd Tank Battalion, 2nd Marine Division as the 1812 Tank crewman. My primary function was to operate and maintain the M1A1 main battle tank, and I was also cross-trained for a number of other operations like IED searches. They have you dismount and sweep for IEDs and shit sometimes, as well as driving multiple vehicles like the MRAP, the MATV, and the Humvee as well.
I commend you for that. That's fantastic.
Thank you.
That actually sounds kind of badass. I know.
Yeah, it was best job I've ever had. I don't think I'll ever have a job that will ever be able to beat it. Being on TV and film is really cool, but it there's nothing like being in charge of $3 million of weaponry that at the age of 19, 20, 21 years old. Not many people that age can say that they are in charge of. They always said, I don't know if language is permitted.
Yeah, you can.
So our instructors would always say, you have the opportunity to drive 70 tons of fuck you, basically.
That's wonderful.
120 millimeter main cannon, 7.62 coaxial, 50 caliber machine gun, as well as the 7.62 for the loader. And we all carried M9s and M4s with us as well. 500 gallons of fuel, and it, reached up to speeds of 60 miles per hour. It is a machine to be reckoned with for sure.
Sounds like it. Holy shit.
You've done
So-
some living.
I have, yes. And it was always frustrating too in my younger years. I mean, I'm 29 now, and so a lot of people still say that I'm young. But even at 18, 19, 20, 21 years old, I feel like that I have lived more lifetimes than most people in their 30s or 40s. I got married at 18 like an idiot. Got divorced like an idiot. Served in the Marine Corps, went overseas, and have been all over the country at this point. And I've done a variety of things. I feel like I've definitely lived a full life for sure.
And you're just getting started.
I am indeed just getting started. I haven't even broken into like some of the bigger stuff yet. So far, it's all been background work and extra work in film and TV.
But that's how you get to see what happens behind the scenes. I mean, that's your first exposure.
Yes, that is correct. I mean, any opportunity is a good opportunity. Don't ever think that you're better than just background work or anything like that. You always got to start somewhere. And background work is a great way to get your feet wet, know the ins and outs, understand the etiquette of, set and productions. And, it's always changing too, especially now with COVID, the etiquette is changing. So being in background, it definitely gives you a lot of insight and just a behind the scenes look, a real understanding of what really goes into this. It's not, I think myself, along with a lot of other people, believe, oh, it's just movies. Actors shouldn't be paid as much. Actors shouldn't be paid as much and everything like that. And I'm like, I used to believe that shit too, especially, wanting to go in the military and, being in the military, a lot of service members are definitely not getting paid nearly as much as these productions or the people working in these productions, producers, directors, actors, and so on, all to put on a show and dress up and play pretend. And that was a mindset for a while. But when you're on that set, it gives you a whole new perspective that it's not as simple as turning on a camera and going action. It takes time. There were times where a 5-minute scene that you would watch in a movie, final edit, cut, and everything, for 5 minutes, that scene alone probably took maybe 2 hours to film, or more, depending on the complexity. So
I know in House of a Thousand Corpses, I watched the behind the scenes. Or the commentary. There's a mop bucket scene where Sid Haig is putting the mop in the bucket. They said it took them 3 hours to do that because the lighting wasn't right.
Right. And there's always something that gets in the way, and especially sound pollution is like a huge thing. I can't tell you how many times we've had to reset because some idiot in background didn't know how to keep their mouth shut long enough for them to do the scene. And of course, those microphones that they have are very, very sensitive. So they hear everything. And it's not even just the boom mic that's hanging over the actors or anything like that either. They have parabolic mics all over the room as well to pick up that ambient sound to create that immersive environment. So they hear everything. And so, yeah, I mean, it's really, really insane as to the amount of work and effort that goes into it. And they have definitely earned my respect. And I believe that, a lot more respect is deserved to these people that work on these productions.
Absolutely. Michael, you've got a lot of depth to you. I just noticed that. I mean, you're more than just a Marine and an actor. I could see that I could actually see you getting pretty far just for the amount of knowledge and depth you have, for your understanding of things, how they
And
work.
I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. I really do try really hard to work for what I want, and because this is what I want, I'm busting my ass and I'm making it happen. And so anybody that says, "Oh, I can't do music, I can't do film, I can't do TV," why? Why not? Like, why not? Especially now during a pandemic, when you have so many tools at your disposal that are 100% free. TikTok alone is a huge, huge, huge creative tool for anybody in a creative field, for whatever field that may be, whatever medium that may be, whether it's music, TV, acting, filmmaking, you know, or even drawing. I've seen people do drawing tutorials on this thing, and it's really, really good. And it's made a lot of people very successful. So I don't believe in excuses of I can't. It's you won't. And it's yourself that's stopping you from doing it ultimately.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that I saw like maybe 10 months into COVID, and it's that if you're not doing that thing that you've always said you wanted to do if you only had time, then the hunger's just not there, you know.
Right.
And part of me believes that. I mean, I understand, you know, there's some things that there is time, there is money, there's all of this, sure. But I mean, I also do believe that if you're hungry enough, that there is, you know, that there are those things. Just like you were saying, that there's all these free mediums, you know, Jason and I, you know, utilizing Twitch as a new venue for doing these sorts of talk shows. Even myself on my page under this tag here, Justin Gonzalez Tenor, doing live performances on Twitch and also talking about mental health and all of this. You know that it's I think it's a huge way for us all to connect right now. And here, Michael, again, you know, there's a sincerity in what you're talking about in the life that you've led, someone who has been a protector of the nation, and the fact that here you are, you have a dream, a want inside you to express, and also a newfound respect for the medium as well. You know that it's not just showing up, you know, hearing action and making sure you're reading the right ink on the page. That it is there's so many more moving parts, and it's much deeper than what that finished product is. So all of this that I'm saying is leading to a question, I promise. And that
Your
question,
show, you're in charge.
oh no, it's not. It's his show. His right there. His show.
Okay.
His show. But
I'm no
but
threat.
here's my question though, is especially coming from a life where you know were active duty Marine overseas. You know what was it? How many millions of dollars of fuck
3
you?
million.
Yeah. Yeah. And then there had to have been a moment where you say like, you know what? No, I want to go into the arts and entertainment field. What was that moment that you know said to Michael, "Hey, I want to try my hand at this."
So it's actually a somewhat interesting story, at least I believe. If anybody else disagrees, that's your opinion.
Yeah, leave a comment.
Okay, so I grew up in Tucson, Arizona. I had this plan in my head ever since I could remember, like before I was 10, even probably younger than that, that I wanted to be a fighter pilot really, really bad. And I grew up around Davis-Monthan Air Force Base, which is one of the largest bases that we have in the country. So growing around that Air Force community and the planes flying overhead was really just an inspiration to me. When 9/11 happened, was a further drive or fuel to the fire for me to get in the cockpit and, you know, go take care of some business. But I didn't do well in school. So in order to be a pilot, you have to be an officer. To be an officer, you have to have a college degree. To have a college degree, you have to have good grades or a scholarship or something that allows you to enter college. I didn't have any of those. So I barely graduated high school by the skin of my teeth. When I went to go enlist, I enlisted during my junior year in high school, and I had full support of my parents and everything. And during that time, though, when I was making the transition to enlist and go into the delayed entry program so that I could just go straight to boot camp right after I graduated, not waste any time. I was in theater for about 4 years in high school, and I really enjoyed it. I started enjoying it my freshman year when the very first thing we did was our own rendition of The Little Rascals, and I played Alfalfa.
Right.
It was fun. I enjoyed it, and obviously enjoyed it enough to do it all 4 years of high school. It definitely allowed me to express certain parts of myself through these characters that I didn't feel like I could do in my everyday life. But after I graduated, I was mindset on the military because it was a more sustainable option. It was the safe option. It was the option that was going to allow me to know for sure that I wasn't going to end up living with my parents for the rest of my life. And it was also for a good reason, for a good cause, and it was to serve my country and to protect people and to defend the innocent and defeat the enemy.
I still can't imagine. That's so freaking brave. That's just fantastic.
I appreciate that. Less than 10% of the population joins the military, and about 1% of that ends up joining the Marine Corps. I happened to join the Marine Corps by accident. I went to the recruiting office one day. It was a weekday. It was like Wednesday or some shit like that. And it was like 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I get down to that office and they're closed. Army's closed, Navy's gone. I'm all like, what? I'm looking at my watch. I'm confused. These 2 Marine Corps recruiters come walking out of their office to smoke a cigarette. They see me and, in my confusion and lost. And they're like, you need help? You look for something? The Air Force? I was like, yeah. When they're coming back, they're like, oh, they left for the day. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Why are they leaving? And they're like, yeah, they do that a lot. I'm like, okay. They're all like, why?
Those slackers in the Air Force.
I know, stupid Sheriff Force. God damn it. Air Force vets, I love you guys though. You've saved our asses many times from your hotel rooms. It's okay.
That's a whole other story.
He said sweetly, yeah.
But I'm talking to them. They're like, yeah, why? You want to be a pilot? I was like, yeah. And I didn't know much about the Marine Corps at the time. Other than that, they were the few of the proud and only the best of the best get to join kind of thing. And I didn't think that I was capable or had the capacity to be able to pass boot camp, which is 13 weeks. And in those 13 weeks, the final thing you do is a crucible, which ultimately tests your abilities overall. So I talked to them and I talked to my mom about it that night. I thought it over, did some research, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Air Force wasn't there. Their loss. Go big or go home. Let's do this. So the next day I go in there with my mom and sign the paperwork, and I go in the delayed entry program. And I go to MCRD San Diego in September 13th, 2010. So that was a blast. I almost died of pneumonia in boot camp. Yeah, it was bad. If I didn't go to the infirmary when I did, they were all like, if you let this go on any longer, you probably would be dead. I was like, wow, okay, well, glad to know it wasn't because I wasn't dehydrated, at least. So, because that's what all my drill instructors were complaining about. They're all like, because I passed out in the lunch line. I was so overheated. They're all like, you haven't been hydrating. Why are you hydrating? Are you drinking water? Recruit, what the hell is wrong with you? I was like, this recruit does not know, sir. This recruit does not know. And then they sent me to the infirmary, and that's when I found out I had pneumonia. When I got discharged, I was medically discharged from the Marine Corps in November 2013 for an anxiety adjustment disorder, PTSD, depressive disorder, and among other things. So my life dream of a military career and becoming a pilot was ripped away from me. I didn't know what to do with my life, so I went back home to Tucson, Arizona, where I did a year in sales and customer service. I got tired of the same thing day in and day out. My mom had been living in New Orleans for a few years, said that she knew a guy that could get me a job in security on film sets, and they hire veterans and law enforcement almost exclusively. So I took her up on that offer, decided to, take my chances in a new city that I didn't know. and got me the job within like the first month. And the very first thing that I ever did, because she was telling me it's like Hollywood South out here. It's like has its own designation, if you will, like its own department from LA. Like it's just Hollywood South here.
Where's home for you again?
Tucson, Arizona.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought.
No, it's okay. So I did some research, found this website called mycastingfile.com, and it was free to sign up. And it was like, be an extra, movies and TV. And it was free. I was like, all right, well, I'm skeptical. I've been screwed over by these sites before, but let's check it out. And I did. It was actually free. And I got my first gig on this series called Zoo, which was a Netflix adaptation from a novel about animals.
Yeah.
You know it?
I do.
About the animals taking over the world because of a virus or something like that. It's like post-apocalyptic type deal, but animals take over instead of zombies. I was a prisoner, and they used an actual working prison, and they even brought in direwolves, the same direwolves that they used in Game of Thrones, like the exact same ones were there. And I was enthralled. I was overwhelmed by I was like, I can't believe I'm here. I'm on set. I'm doing this. This is a real deal. And, they pay you real money for it. I'm like, this is a potential viable income for me. Like, I can't believe it. Like, why have I not been doing this sooner? So, and one of the funny things about that day that I will always remember was when I was sitting there and one of the makeup ladies walks by and she's like doing these, like, she does this double take, sees me sitting on the ground. She's like, you're too pretty. Come with me. And then had to come because apparently I was too pretty for prison. I was like, well, that's good to know.
That's a whole different. That's a whole different show.
That's a whole nother issue. But yeah, and then everything after that, just kind of like I just kept doing it after that, and I started getting on NCIS New Orleans, Into the Badlands, Scream Queens. One of my first big features was LBJ with Woody Harrelson, directed by Rob Reiner. Sorry. I was one of the Secret Service agents that was rushing Woody, who was playing LBJ, through the hospital after the Kennedy assassination. So I have some like good screen time on that movie for like 2 minutes.
Good for you. That's great.
Wow. And so not speaking role, nothing like that. It wasn't anything too crazy, but to see my face on that screen for like a solid 2 minutes and not just a blur in the background or something like that was kind of like refreshing. And then, of course, my most recent accomplishment has been Queen of the South, where I landed the non-speaking role Flacco on season 5.
Wow.
Congratulations, man. That's fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah.
The journey is really something special. I will say, I started in entertainment 20 years ago. I know, Jason, how long have you been at this?
I started at 29, just like you. And
That's awesome.
In 1999 or 98, I set foot on stage at Caroline's on Broadway for my first show ever. I challenged myself. There was a comedy class, and it said 2 months, and then the graduation shows at Caroline's. I said, this is a good way to force myself into it, because I used to get bad stage fright.
Oh, wow.
And did that, and then started doing some local theater, and doing theater was a better lesson than actually taking classes. Actually just doing is always better. Just like you jump right into it.
Right. Yeah, I agree. There's definitely a lot more learning done in the field of your profession than there ever is in the classroom. And I think that's true for just about any profession, really, because, I've done so many jobs. More jobs than I can count, where I was just sales, customer service, roadside assistance, security, so many different jobs. And each one I always did better in the field and learned more in the field than I ever did in the classroom.
Yeah. I think classroom is good, for learning theory and maybe trying to understand it intellectually and academically. But truly, getting your hands dirty, though. There's nothing that really lets you know, like, okay, which of these tools will actually be useful for me and how much of it is just theory. you know, and theory can be good, you know, a piece here, a piece there, but you know, as far as actively using it in the moment is a very different animal. It's a very different animal.
For sure, for sure. I think it's also important to learn the history and understand some of the fundamentals too of your profession that you're wanting to learn. And school is a great way to do that. By all means, I'm not knocking school. I'm a graduate myself. I just graduated from the Los Angeles Film School online with a bachelor's degree of science for digital filmmaking so that I could learn
Nice.
more about my craft. Thank you. That's impressive. I like that. I wish I had those same soundboards for my Switch. But I mean, yeah, absolutely. To anyone out there that is interested in going into the entertainment industry, no, school is not a necessity. It absolutely is not a necessity, but I do highly encourage it and I do recommend it so that you can have a better understanding and appreciation for everything that goes into it, because I didn't learn just one aspect of film. I learned everything from acting to directing to producing to writing to the development to the budgeting to script breakdown, like everything. And having all that knowledge and having the know-how, I think, creates a lot more patience in the industry, because too many times have I been on set and I've come across other background actors that are like complaining about the wait or just sitting around doing nothing or whatever and waiting in between the shots. I'm like, chill. It's okay.
Yeah.
Like they got shit that they need to do. They're not leaving us here for shits and giggles. Like they got shit they got to do. They got to set up the lights, the sound. Like you have no idea what you're talking about.
The fact that you gets it, the fact that you get it makes it a little better. I think the odds of you getting further, why can't I get my words out?
Because it's Monday and you're not used
It is Monday, yes.
to hosting on a Monday. But no, you're absolutely right. The fact that you've been through a program where you are given the opportunity to experience and understand the necessity of all of these roles that are, the things that we don't see on screen, that gives you a better understanding, so that when you do one of those and you make that your primary, then you have a better respect and understanding for the rest of them and how they are all necessary working cogs in order to make this move forward. Yeah, no, that's awesome.
And now you kind of have the knowledge of how to make your own film. I mean,
right.
Another great stepping stone is just to create your own material.
Right. I mean, I don't know who said it, but I've always believed in the philosophy that, if you don't hear the phone ringing, then make it happen and, do it for yourself kind of thing. So it's like you could sit around the phone all day waiting for your agent to call you with an audition. Sure. And if you're okay with that, great. But you're only going to be moving as fast as those external factors allow you to. And obviously there are things that are going to be outside of your control, and that's fine. You have to accept that. But I'm a firm believer of creating your own success. Mainly, that's probably because of the family that I grew up in. Jesus.
You have a kind of a legendary relative, don't you?
I do, actually. So my mother, Lisa Lloyd, who's an inventor. I know that's not who you're referring to, but I do want to mention her in this because she is
cool, actually.
A big part of my life. She's an inventor and entrepreneur. And I grew up, she made her first million off of the invention, the French twister, that is currently owned by Scunci. I don't know if you know it. It's a woman's hair product, and basically what it is, it's like a clip that allows women to create a French twist in their hair much more easily than women. And she did quite a few other hair products along with it, like the Soft Claw, which was like a jaw clip without the spring that you could essentially sleep with in your head and not have a headache the next morning and stuff like that. She went on to like Shark Tank and The Big Idea with Donnie Deutsch. She's met people like Damon John, the CEO and owner and founder of Fubu.
Yeah. So your mom has been on Shark Tank.
Yeah, she's even been on Dr. Phil. I mean, she's done all kinds of stuff. So she's also a big name. But the one that you're talking about, the legend that or legacy that I feel like that I am fulfilling now is my great 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 grandfather Victor Moore, who was, for those of you that don't know, an actor in silent film, and that even transitioned into talkies. And for many of you that probably don't know as well, is it was really, really hard for that time for actors to transition from silent film to talkies, because these actors who had never spoken, or an audience that has never heard them speak before, would do these films with sound, and the audience would absolutely hate them
They
because
had
they
these movie
just
star looks
sounded
like us, and I would, like, if it was me, my Rudolph Valentino face, and then I'd go to speak and say, "Hey, stop right there!" And it just
right.
isn't going to come out right.
Right, exactly. And so audiences would hate them. So it was really hard for actors to thrive after that. So he was one of the very few that were able to make that successful transition, and was able to work with Marilyn Monroe in Swing Time and the 7 Year Itch,
Yeah,
are like the big ones. And he has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in California.
Wow, wow,
that
wow.
is so cool.
Thank you. Yeah,
And you get to carry on the legend.
I know I'm pretty proud of that
Like,
legacy and that heritage for sure. And it definitely does feel like that a part of me may have been reincarnated from him in a way. I know that kind of sounds crazy, but I
I
don't
think
know.
it's a
There's just
natural
something
way of
about
thinking.
that.
I get it.
No, absolutely. I just pulled up his Wikipedia page real quick. He was also a major It says a major Broadway star from the late 1920s through the 30s. I mean, that's really awesome. I mean, to
Yeah.
have been really a part of the tapestry of American entertainment that way. Broadway, stage, screen, and yeah, my goodness, born in 1876
Yeah.
in little old New Jersey, just like me
Yeah.
and Jason. Us
Yeah.
Jersey boys.
That's right. I read that he's from Hamilton, New Jersey.
Yeah, that's correct. And he also was even the original inspiration for the voice of Elmer Fudd in the Looney Tunes.
Really?
Uh-huh. Obviously,
you-
he ended up not being the final voice, but yes, he was the OG Elmer Fudd.
The OG. I love it.
I'm looking at some of his pictures here. He was a handsome devil. He had a great face. I mean, it looks like you can really see that he had a great presence.
Yeah, he was very well known for his comedic work as well in
Those
films.
you can't see.
Yes,
there
that's
he
him.
is.
There
he
is.
is.
There's the old man
Some lipstick on his head.
with the lipstick
Probably from
stain on his
Maryland.
head. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I remember when I learned about that too, when my family told me, like, did you know? I'm like, no, that's crazy. And, I think I found that out when I was a kid too. Never clicked to me though, or I never made the connection that, hey, maybe I have a calling for this kind of thing.
It's in your blood, man.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
So, so if we can speculate and pontificate and all of that, what do you see yourself doing? What is the dream?
That's a great question. I've been asked that question quite a few times throughout my life, and every single time I feel like the answer is different. Right now, it's acting. I like portraying characters. I like performing, and I enjoy being able to channel certain things about myself into these characters to bring them to life that I otherwise wouldn't necessarily be able to express in the real world.
That's
It's almost
the fact that you said that is a sign of a good actor.
it's
You
it,
get
it's
it.
almost cathartic. It really it's therapeutic and cathartic for me, really. Being able to do that and say, oh, that was just John, or Joe, or whoever I'm playing. That was just Flacco fucking around, being a dick.
No,
or
you
whatever.
invest yourself into that character,
Right.
Flacco.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I almost got lines on that one too. Like the casting director that auditioned me. Apparently, I was the only one they auditioned, which was interesting. And I actually almost slept on that too. I remember getting the email for the availability request. They were looking for a Sicario looking guy. I matched the description. They asked if I was available, and I didn't respond until like the next day. And I was like, yeah, fuck it, whatever. I didn't really think I fit the look, but I also know that a lot of those availability requests are just automatic per the algorithm, right? They only match it to like whatever your description is in your profile, and then you get that availability request kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then you submit, and that puts you in front of the casting. Apparently I was the only one that auditioned, which was weird. I even remember when I got the call saying, hey, they want to audition you. I was like, why would they want to audition me for a background role? That doesn't make any sense. And I was like, unless they're giving me lines. Oh my God, is this it? Oh my God, is this going to be my big break? And and sure as shit, like I went there, I did the audition, nailed it. They loved it. And it was just one guy, just Brent Caballero, the casting director. And he teased me and said, we might be giving you lines. We're not sure yet. I'm like, oh, that would be awesome. Fantastic. But the writers ended up deciding against it. But yeah, right now, I'm just wanting to, keep working in the actors field and hopefully get more projects where I have speaking roles where I can really expand and grow in that aspect and show my skills.
So if I can ask you to be a little vulnerable right now, what is because even in nonverbal roles, you still have to have a story for yourself. There still has to be an energy of a direction where your character, again, and even if it is like your extra number 32, but extra number 32 has a name. His name is Mike, and he's this, or call him Phil. Phil's got to do this. He's coming from work. He's doing he's had a fight with his wife, whatever. And so you still have to get into it. What is something that you have learned about yourself going through these miniature journeys, even doing background work and all that, going through the process, and like you said, going through this cathartic work that you can't necessarily do out in the open, or maybe don't feel comfortable to do out in the open? What have you learned about Michael Lloyd by portraying all of these different people in in this work that you're doing now?
That is actually a fantastic question.
I know, that's why I asked
it. That's a thinker for me, for sure. Because I don't really think about it a lot. I just kind of like, so for some of the ones that I'm doing, like some of the smaller ones where it's like, almost insignificant, I'm just there as filler to create some kind of movement and dynamic into the scene. Like the last thing I did wasn't really like a huge deal or anything, was a background role for Tattered Hearts with a Blumhouse production. I guess it's a horror movie that's going to be coming
You did
out.
a Blumhouse production. That's huge.
Mm-hmm. And we were at this bar, one of the local bars here in New Orleans, and I was a bar patron. And I didn't really like create a huge in-depth story because, you don't really have a whole lot of time to do that. You don't find out what you're doing until you're like on set and the PA tells you, okay, you're going in this direction or something like that. They kind of place you and tell you what to do. So you don't really have to think about it a whole lot, really. I do, however, try to give myself my own motivation in those movements because they only tell you so much. Mm-hmm. So they'll say, all right, this is point A. When they call action, give it 3 beats and then walk to point B kind of thing, or, come talk to this guy and then walk back kind of thing. So what I would do is I would act like I'm going to the bathroom, or I'm going to go talk to this girl over here, that's off camera. Or there was this one where even another extra came up. They're like, you deserve like background role of the year award or something like that. I'm like, what? Why? They're all like, because you were so lifelike and realistic with your expressions that I actually believed you were actually in a fucking bar. I was like, because all I did was I just pretend to whistle and like call over a waitress and be like, hey, come here, I need a beer over here kind of thing. And that was it, just like,
it's those little details though that you became a bar patron.
Right. Yeah. I just kind of like, you just kind of just dive into it, like let the rest of yourself go. Really, if you just let all of that fear of being judged or whatever, like feeling stupid because you're pretending, or, like you're just walking from point A to point B, it ultimately comes down to whatever you make it. So if you only see it as a bar patron walking from point A to point B, that's all you're going to be, is a bar patron walking from point A to point B. You're never going to be able to create any kind of depth or dynamic or anything like that and move forward. But if you let all that stuff go, become whatever it is that it is, whether it be a bar patron or Flacco or a waiter or whatever, you tend to let some of yourself out. So I think something that I've learned about myself is that I enjoy comedy. I believe comedy is the best medicine. So if I could ever end up like the head of my own sitcom, like Friends or How I Met Your Mother, or one of those types, that would be a huge check mark off my bucket list, at least. I've even had some people tell me that, they could see me as, in action movies, kind of like Keanu Reeves in the John Wick series. And I was like, no, there's no way. There's no way that my, 6 foot, skinny 160-pound ass is ever going to look like a fighter in a film, for sure. But
Don't knock it, man.
no, for sure. I mean, I'm definitely working towards getting a better build, better physique. But I mean, that would be cool. I would love to. I don't want to be the next Keanu Reeves, though. I do want to be the next Michael Lloyd.
There it is. That's
a great
well said.
statement.
Well said.
If I do get my own action series, my own comedy series, or anything like that, it's going to be, I was something that is not identifiable to other actors or characters out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, that's a fantastic way of thinking about it. Of course, we have our inspirations. We have the people that, their style or anything like that maybe inform what we do, but at the end of the day, it has to be authentically us. And that's something that I had mentioned earlier at the beginning of our conversation, and I will echo it again because I feel it now even more having listened to you talk about your process, your journey, and that is you bring a sincerity, and that is what people appreciate. That even if you are being a different version of yourself, or like Jeff Bridges talks about, that when he plays a character, that they're all just versions of himself. It's like he's at a soundboard, and he's just pulling up. This is a little bit of me in 10th grade smoking doobies behind school, and maybe a little bit less of my anger, and a little bit more of this and that. And it's all versions of himself, and that sounds like it's kind of what you're doing, bringing that sincerity even to your background work, which is leading to bigger roles. And I don't know, it just kind of reminds me of of Larry Hankin. We had him on. He's done so much of his work either in background or in these smaller, these smaller roles, where he has maybe a little bit of dialogue, or or maybe not even any at all. He's just
Right.
he's there, still a small role, but maybe just him being Larry Hankin. But but the thing is, he's made such a beautiful career. I think what did he say? 50 years of doing this in film. And he's like, again, we were joking about like him and working with Adam Sandler and all this, and just being like the one of the greatest actors you've never heard of. And but it's again, it's that journey and the sincerity in doing the work. And I just it sounds like your head is in the right spot to really be going on this journey, man. It's so cool.
I appreciate that. Yeah. And I really hope that, I can maintain that humility and that mindset as well, because I mean, hell forbid, I know that so many people have fallen, or succumbed to that ego that you get.
I don't detect an ego from you at all. I just don't see it.
I mean, I it's there. Trust me, it's there. I beat it back. I beat it back, black and blue, every single day. But it's there. Trust me.
and good.
I'll tell you what. I get called in a lot of auditions where they want a Paul Giamatti type, which will humble you immediately. He's a great actor. Don't get me wrong, but that's the type I've been labeled as. However, my stepmother literally just sent me a picture that she had, I guess in her memories it popped up, of one of my more recent paid acting gigs, of why I'll never get an ego. Sometimes you got to do a kid show.
Oh, that's amazing.
I thought that was maybe the remake where you were Violet Beauregard in
No, I was
Willy
a
Wonka and the
caterpillar in Alice in Wonderland.
close. No,
That was right
hey,
after
man.
I did a stint on Impractical Jokers, and then I got cast in the kids show.
That's
But you never
awesome.
know
Dude,
Yeah.
where your next
but
job's going to come
you know,
from.
and that's funny because I remember, I remember I was singing with the Philadelphia Orchestra, and I was singing with Rod Stewart, and in the audience was Prince Charles and Camilla Bowles. And they came backstage to meet everyone that was performing, the orchestra members, the chorus members, the singers, all of that. And the next day, I was at a FYE record store doing balloon animals for a grand opening. So but that's kind of the hustle of entertainment, though. You have these really really great highs, and then you have these humbling moments that that help you keep bread on your table and a roof over your head. But it's also that reminder, that great Thomas Edison quote. He probably stole it from someone, but a great quote of most people miss opportunity because it's dressed in overalls and looks like work. And I think that's so much about this industry that, like you were saying at the very beginning, some people think they're bigger than background work, but guess what? I'm not bigger than having bread on my table.
Right.
And so, as long as you keep that in your mind and in your stomach, and the evolution of you as an artist at the front of your mind, that no matter what the gig is, it's going to educate me and inform future work that I do. That's that's what it's all about. And just absolutely, this has been a really fucking fun show getting to know you, Michael.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, guys. I really do appreciate it. This is, again, it's always an honor to, come on somebody's show and talk about myself.
There's the ego.
Yeah, see, told
He
you.
just crept up a little bit there.
There's this one quote that I like a lot that I think I will always remember. I believe it was Shakespeare that said it, is that there are no small roles, only small players. Where it doesn't matter what the role is. If you are just wife number 1, husband number 3, boyfriend number 2, or waiter 1, guard 1, whatever, some unnamed character or anything like that, it doesn't matter. You're doing it, and that's what you take, what you can get, and keep working. Don't let that stop you from working towards getting bigger, better stuff. Just because you're not getting bigger, better stuff right now doesn't mean you won't ever. It just means not right now. You haven't done the work. You haven't done it. It's actually, my mom said it. No doesn't mean no, just not right now. And obviously, in the sense of a work environment, please. Otherwise, everywhere else, consent is required.
Yes, I was waiting to see if you were going there.
I just had to put that out there. Just got to cover my ass. I'm just.
And I think for our show, that is, I think, where the perfect spot to wrap up. Michael, where now, folks that are watching either this live or as a rebroadcast, where can they find out what you're doing? Where can they follow you? Where can they enjoy what you're doing?
Yeah. So I meant to send this over to you, Mr. Pollock, but I
Just
totally
call me
forgot.
Jason.
I meant to send this over to you, but old habits die hard, I guess. I still call people Stir and Man too, and I get shit on for that. I don't know why. But
I mean, it's a nice thought, but
I meant to send over these social medias to you, but I have a TikTok, I have an Instagram, and I have a Facebook. So,
is it Michael at Michael Lloyd?
Not every single one of them. I'm gonna send you the links right now, actually, Jason, in a text message here, real quick.
And
while I'm thinking about it.
And folks, while those of you again watching live or on the rebroadcast of this, we'll make sure that on Facebook that they are posted in the comments of this video, and on YouTube we'll be able to go back and edit the description, and we'll make sure that we add these links to the description, so that way you guys can just simply click and enjoy. Make sure that we are following Michael, because I think we're going to see some really great things from him.
Oh yeah, for sure. Big things coming. So first up, I'm gonna go ahead and just throw my Instagram out there. I don't know if y'all can see that. It's kind of out of focus right now, but Mystic Mike is the handle that I'm going by. on there for now until I can find something better or more
Just
professional.
hit at Mystic
There
Mike.
it is. At Mystic Mike.
Yeah, with a K. So
Oh, with a K.
MYSTIKMIKE. Yeah, with a K.
Jason is going to be editing that
So
right
if
now.
you can find my
Going to edit it,
Instagram,
yes.
my Instagram is pretty much a good stepping off point to finding everything else because I have all my other links and everything like that touched in there as well. Same thing with my TikTok, and I'm currently working on building a Facebook page. I mean, I have my profile, but my PR rep decided to tell me that you should have like an official page because then that way you can have more than just 5,000, people that it's capped at. So
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. And I get yelled at all the time because I forget to post things to my page, to our podcast page, and Justin's always setting me straight. There's a reason that he's got more followers.
Hey, because it's all about the hustle, that's for sure. So so folks, Mystic Mike on Instagram, make sure you're following him because I just clicked follow. Let me see if I can. Maybe mine will be in better focus. I don't know. Let's see. No?
Instagram and Facebook has been kind of down lately. So if you guys experience technical difficulties, that's fine. Just try again later. But yeah, that's where you can find me. And you should be able to find. I have links to my Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok in there as well so that you can find me on those other platforms.
And there it is, kids. Mike, thank you so much for hanging with me and Jason.
Oh, thank you guys for having me again. It was a real pleasure and honor, and I had a blast being here. Thank you.
And real quick, I had an actress on last week, Ashley Lawson, who she challenged me in a way. I said we need some kind of we got to work together. So I'm writing a comedy horror for Zoom.
Oh wow!
And if I tell you about it and say it live here, then I have to finish it because I'm obligated now because it's out there in public.
You've put it out there, so now if you don't do it, then you're kind of
then I'm just a schmuck. So now I gotta write a part for you.
Wow, that would be awesome. Thank you so much, Jason. I would be honored to be a part of your horror comedy. Absolutely, I love horror comedy too.
Excellent, and seeing as how we're trying to end, and I keep going. So, seeing as how Halloween is coming, what's one of do you have a favorite scary?
Oh God, that's
favorite genre.
I'm a big fan of the Saw series. Oh, so
you're twisted. Okay.
I am. I am twisted, probably more than I would like to say, but yes, I am definitely twisted.
That's lovely.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, I'll be doing live horror music for your Zoom for your Zoom horror comedy, Jason.
Fantastic.
I love it.
So, but me and Jason, I was going to say, me and Jason actually have a favorite horror series that we like to go to, and that's the Hellraiser franchise. And that's my segue into a plug.
Oh yes, we have a Hellraiser reunion, October 27th, right here on this channel, on the Hi I'm Jason channel at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time, because most of the cast is over in England.
Yes.
Awesome.
But we definitely now. Yeah, we're trying to get some more of the cast involved, but we definitely have two confirmations, and they're old friends to the show, and that is Barbie Wilde and Simon Bamford, right?
Yes, two of our favorite Cenobites from Hellraiser.
Yeah, there's Butterball. I don't have my sunglasses. But
Butterball and the female Cenobite. Justin, you don't really have to do much.
No, I don't. Just display a couple of the chins. That's all. But Simon is a riot. Barbie it's just amazing. She has such wonderful stories, and they're both just the sweetest people. And to think that they're demons from hell, I mean, who knew? So be sure to check that out.
That's true. And this coming Wednesday, Trauma Films' own Lloyd Kaufman will be here.
Wow.
Creator of The Toxic Avenger, the guy who launched the career of James Gunn and Trey Parker and Matt Stone.
Yeah.
So if you're going to be hanging out on Wednesday evening, make sure to pop in the comments, Michael. You know, we'd love to
I
Michael, we will be in touch, my friend.
Sounds great. I mean, I probably have another podcast to do on Wednesday, so I
what
won't
the
guarantee
fuck?
anything.
Come on, man. Jesus Christ.
But if I can make it, I will definitely be there. And yes, again, Jason, Justin, it's been great being here. Thank you guys so much for having me. I really do appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for everything, man. We'll be in touch. Absolutely.
Sounds great, Jason. I'll talk to you later.
Take care of yourself.
Bye, guys.